Welcome everyone to another RGL cast. My name is Jared. I'm here with Space Ghost, and we are back for another season. This is RGL Invite 6's Season 10, Week 1A, and tonight we are showcasing Catgirl Cafe versus 20ZC. There are a lot of shuffled and even brand new teams this season that are trying to make their mark and solidify themselves as a playoff level team. And we got two teams that are either new or shuffled to some degree tonight to showcase and give you guys a sneak peek of what might be coming on later in the weeks as we follow these and many more teams in the next couple days as well. Get an idea of what they're all about and what they're capable of. I'll go ahead and say it right now before we get too deep into this. That we are going to have 3 casts in a row, back to back to back, one per day. So make sure you are around for the ones that are coming around tomorrow as well. But Space, Catgirl Cafe versus 20ZC, the J demo debut. Any thoughts as we get everyone loaded up into Sunshine as the map tonight?
Thoughts? Well, I'm excited to start out the season, pretty much the dawn of a brand new RGL6 season. Always nice to see, and, I think with the new season comes, a lot of hopes and expectations and dreams for some teams. Those will come to fruition. Some teams, those will be inevitably crushed. And I think for, these two teams, which are both, either shuffled around or have new people or have, a lot of different pieces that haven't been together before, they're starting off the season, might be it could be the best your season starts is at the beginning. It could be worse. We'll see. Don't want to stumble right out of the gate. So this win is going to be important in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, it's always interesting because the beginning is where the surprise factor comes in. You've maybe played all these teams that you're playing in week one, maybe like once or twice if you're lucky, or maybe not at all, depending on who got the scrims and things like that. So there might be tendencies you're not aware of. The level of aggression their soldiers play. Do they do any weird off-classing stuff? How much do they try to wrap you back caps? And that alone can be enough to get really important rounds or maybe even win a game you otherwise maybe would have lost if the teams are close enough together. But it's also the part where teams that should be really good on paper just don't have their stuff together quite yet, and it could be their downfall. So it's interesting to see the contrast and how things really go out of the gate for both the teams compared to later on. You have everything down and you've learned the maps and all that, and you're more solidified. So we'll see what happens here in week one between these two teams. I think let's go ahead and talk about the rosters. I think there's some familiar names, but it's important to go over the few that might be new this season. I think we have at least one new blood, but I'll go ahead and talk about the 20ZC roster. It is High Five and Brand Slam on Scout. You have Ash and Artist on Soldier, Jay on Demo, and Zilly on Medic.
And for Catgirl Cafe, we have Mopsy and XL on Scout, Nabla and Dakota on Soldier, Averted on Demo, and AZ on Medic. And I gotta say, it's definitely quite the mishmash of players on Catgirl Cafe. A lot of names I recognize. A lot of players aliasing as names I did not recognize, and a lot of players just playing on kind of vastly different teams, all kind of coalescing into that team. It's a unique combination to say the least.
Yeah, both teams are about almost half of an already pre-existing team. You have 20ZC, who's basically half of Witness Gaming, with an off-classer with some other pieces of the puzzle kind of pushed in. Except it is you have like Ash and Branslam who are off their combo centric roles and now on the flank. You have Artist who's now off of Demo and on Pocket, and Jay who's on to Demo now. And then for the side of Catgirl Cafe, you have Mopsy once again doing another class shuffle from Medic to Scout. Novel and Dakota are still on Soldier, but you have Exile and Asian joining, who actually went to LAN in Season 9 for the side of... I think they have... Was it Cozy or Angie last season? They changed their name. I don't remember which one was which. But either way,
Cozy.
Yeah, Cozy. And then...
Or no, was it Angie? Okay.
Oh, okay.
They're like the same team in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, they just changed the name, really. And then you have Averted, who comes off of getting 3rd place with Thermology in Advance last season. So I was telling Space earlier, it's quite the menagerie of players on the side of Catgirl Cafe. But with such a shuffle on either side, I mean, you can look at the individual players on paper and be like, oh, well, 20ZC, I mean, they got tons more experience. But with how new everyone kind of is to their roles, their teammates, and the people they're trying to coordinate to the best of their abilities with, it's kind of hard to say exactly how things are going to go down.
Yeah, I think there's definitely there could be the potential for just a massive, just even DM and invite experience gap in the favor of the Zilly team. But at the same time, it's early in the season. If you have one place you trip up on, if you just can't push last, that could easily lose you this game, in my opinion, especially this early in the season where you can't like overcome one unique issue. I think there's definitely is some maybe upset potential or just upset potential in general for just one team to stumble out the gate a little unexpectedly. I think it's definitely very possible, if even a little expected in terms of just like I would expect this to be a clean sweep.
And you can see the picks and bans right now. Well, I guess it's all bans in the final pick. Catgirl Cafe solidifying in Sunshine. I mean, this is Catgirl Cafe's pick. You never know. I mean, I think as we start to think about, well, actually, we'll probably think about the map more than predictions, but you never know. You could just like early on, just oh, we haven't played this map that much, and we can't win mid, and then all of a sudden that set you back in a spot where otherwise you would have been, pretty okay. So we'll have to see how things transpire. But anything initially come to your mind when we talk about like, I guess we can't say the teams because the teams are quote unquote new, but any players come into mind when you think about them plus Sunshine?
Players in particular. Well, I always remember how did Ash and High Five and Brand Slim? They were pretty decent at Sunshine, if I remember correctly, right? They were pretty good at it, I think.
Yeah, Witnesses, I think they were pretty fine at Sunshine, but you also have
Yeah,
to keep in mind is now they're like their flank and combo is completely swapped, so their
yeah,
roles and what they're trying to accomplish are not necessarily the same thing.
yeah. I'm actually really curious how that's gonna go. At the same time, I don't have any super strong opinions. I have kind of some strong opinions on the map bans. I think the Catfro Cafe banning both cough maps immediately. I think that is a bit telling that they know they're going into this with a DM diff. Like I think they know that like the other team is just has a lot more experience and just a lot more synergy in terms of like the pointing and clicking aspects of the game. So I think that makes sense for me why they also just immediately banned both cough maps.
I think the thing that I'm wondering the most about when it comes to this map is because it's so like it can be very friendly to sniper. With everyone kind of shuffling around, I'm kind of curious on how much sniper we're going to see from the side of 20ZC because Bransom never had the opportunity to really go it because he was stuck on the beam the entire time, and now he's kind of off the leash, and he's even on it in pregame as well. So
Ash
I'm
is on
kind of
roamer too, so maybe
yeah.
Ash.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ash as well. You might see the return of the 20B sniper. He
Yeah,
was
20.
occasionally pulled out when he was roaming for them back in like what season 17 or so
Yeah, I
of
think you're more
ESEA.
likely to go
So
silly off classes when you're not on a combo class. So I think Ash is very, very capable on sniper. One of the better ones in the game. So I definitely, I would not sleep on either Brandsem or Ash sniper. They're both very good tools to have in your TF2 repertoire, as they say. And yeah, I think it's gonna be. I'm really curious about Jay demo because I think Jay's gonna be good on demo. It's Jay. He's kind of good at everything he touches, but I'm curious to see whether he has that kind of like X factor he has when he's on scout or soldier, and sometimes he can just make miracles happen. I mean, I'm curious. I'm curious to see how that's going to unfold on demo, especially like with how much I don't know how experienced he is on demo, but I know he's going to be fine. I'm curious like what his ceiling is currently.
yeah, I mean the big difference is gonna be like even if you have experience playing demo and pug, the amount of like focus fire and coordination that can come from like an actual team can make things a whole lot different. It can make things more difficult and more punishing. Although you also have to keep in mind is because of this matchup, he might not be in situations potentially where he might, get tested per se. Like it might just be the same difficulty of a pug if you're in a very winning position. So we'll have to see how that kind of starts out, and then if the pressure is put on him, we'll actually get to see how he handles it accordingly. But for the side of Catgirl Cafe, I'm not sure how they're really gonna. It's hard to say what they're gonna do out of the gate when it comes to playstyle, as well as like wondering how good they're gonna be for a final score. Because you could just look and be like, "Oh yeah, this was like the sixth place team last season." So I mean, it's like a little lopsided, but you also have to remember that it's only half of the same team. You add in some new blood, Averted might be crazy, and people haven't really got to really see him unless you were keeping track of the things that were happening in advance. And then you do have Exile and Azen who, went to LAN and were good enough to play at that level and have shown it in their previous seasons. So it's kind of hard to talk about predictions to be exact. I mean, I think it's probably most people would agree that 20ZC are probably in the driver's seat here and are probably the favorites. But when it comes down to an actual score, do you have any ideas of, or any inkling of an idea of what we could be looking at here, Space?
I would say like a prolonged painful 5-1 in the favor of teams 20 ZC. That's like the most likely outcome in my opinion, where it's like I think that Girl Cafe, I think they're gonna put up a good fight, but it might not necessarily show up on the scoreboard.
Yeah, it's kind of hard because even though like, for everything that you could say, like, "Oh, well, 20ZC is new and they're trying to get their stuff together," you say the same thing for Catgirl Cafe, so in that
Yeah.
way, it's like they're kind of like an even playing field. The only thing that Catgirl Cafe have going for them is that they kinda picked this map, so I would hope for their sake that they're, have some sort of plan and maybe some ideas that can put them in a good spot to at least, like, get a round or 2 or something like that, but,
We
I'll
have, we
I'll
have a
think
good
I'll
graphic on,
I'll
on,
mimic
on the stream
the
right now.
oh, yeah, I'll mimic the 5-1 pred, I think that's safe, but yeah, what's currently happening, I'm pretty sure, is, item servers are just down. So,
Yeah, I see
uh
there's a no hat fire axe pyro on this in the server, which is terrifying and you hate to see it. Truly one of the most horrifying entities in TF2 is the default melee default hats pyro.
yeah, first you have to deal with the Steam chat being down, trying to organize everything for the scrim time, and then you gotta deal with the servers, but hopefully it doesn't take too long. Usually, I feel like the server issues when Steam, like, resets or whatever, it doesn't take too long. I mean, it can be a nuisance sometimes, but fingers crossed, right?
Yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, if anything, I think this favors Team 20ZC because they got Ash has played a lot of Shotgun Soldier in his time, and they have all the boomers who are used to the experimental weapons, like the syringe gun.
I mean, there's no way that, they play it tonight. Even okay, yeah, they're saying it in chat as well that they're giving it a 10-minute timer, otherwise they're rescheduling, I
See,
think.
Ash wants to play.
Yeah, Ash wants to play because
He,
he'll
he
he'll
used
play
Shotgun.
he'll manage on Shotgun Soldier even on Sunshine, I think, but,
Yeah,
we'll see how long it takes.
yeah, we'll see. I don't know if well, we do have players rejoining the server. We'll see, or maybe they can find a server at some point. This is the impossible challenge: get items on a Tuesday in
They
TF2.
already they already swapped servers once, and I thought, "Oh, maybe that'll be enough," like, they're swapping to one that's fine, but I guess this one isn't fine either, so I'll have to either wait or find one that, has everything fixed in time, but
He said
I
it
guess
might be
as
a serve
we
fee thing.
yeah, maybe. But yeah, they're reiterating that, uh, yeah, they'll wait 10 more minutes and see what happens. One thing I was kinda thinking of is, we didn't really go into too much depth of as we attempt to kill time is, uh, I'm kinda curious on how the calling dynamics for both the teams are gonna kinda operate. Like, I think for the side of Catgirl Cafe, I think it's safe to say that with Exile on combo, he's probably gonna be making a lot of calls for their team, even as, like, a new addition,
Yeah,
and you can probably look to him for a lot of the stuff and a lot of the plays that they'll decide to make. For the side of 20ZC, I guess it's gonna be Zilly because you have, Brand Slam has kinda moved off of the combo scout role, and so despite it being, like, a half of Witness Gaming, like, player team, it's probably gonna be Zilly that's making the shots, right?
yeah. Maybe I don't know. Maybe artists can call from pocket a bit. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't think Jay's a main caller. I don't think that's just
No.
who
I
he
mean,
is as a player.
I don't think I've ever seen Zilly play for a team on Medic where he wasn't, like, heavily influencing the
Yeah,
the
I would
pace of the game for his team,
I would
so
expect primary Zilly unless they have some sort of weird thing going on. That would also be my assumption is
probably
primarily Zilly calling, which I think is a very good choice.
probably secondary high five.
Yeah, secondary high five or secondary someone.
I guess the good news is at the end of the day, well, if this match gets played, we'll be able to ask the winning team for if they come for interviews. There's a lot of ifs there, I suppose. If they come for interviews, if we play this game, if that team wins. So maybe we'll learn something today, but who knows? We'll have to wait
Yeah,
a bit later until we figure that out. But it probably wouldn't take too long. I think our assumptions are probably the most logical, one anyway. So
yeah.
it makes the most sense.
No, I do see multiple soldiers in the server saying that they want to play in 2007. I guess mainly so they have an excuse to run a shotgun. I see both Daffodil and Ash are pro 2007 TF2.
It would actually speed up the game, in a way, like in a
And we know
weird,
Bose.
twisted way. Yeah, so what happens is you, uh, like the 2010 TF2 or like the broken, item server TF2 was, because you don't have gunboats, you have to play off of a full buff crit heal, which means you can't afford to, like, take damage. So when you arrive somewhere, you get your crit heals and just go. Like you're in. You're not doing fakes. You're not getting on high ground and spamming because if you take damage, you are not getting bursted back up to full.
Yeah,
So your impact is you
whole
get
teams are
300 and
ready.
you go. So the soldiers like, heck yeah, let's play super fast.
All right, yeah, there's actually just one team that's ready, but yeah, 2002. I'm happy regardless of what outcome, whether we get items or get no items. The no items is definitely funnier because there's a lot of old technology that might be rediscovered with some of that. Some of the like ancient civilization technology that has not been seen in a long time.
Technically, the skill of mid fights for Doman slightly increases because it actually matters, like, the first couple stickies and how
Yeah, you
fast you
can
go,
actually troll crit
and
heal
if you
so hard.
take fall damage with the rolla and things like that, because you can't like, obviously, a fast soldier is enough to make that important in its own right, but if soldiers aren't a factor and they're not going super fast onto the demo, even just a demo v demo fight is gonna be huge for if you hit the first couple long range stickies and things of
You
that
have to
nature
beat that player.
because you don't get bursted back up. If you get dropped down to 100 HP, you're like either you're getting healed back up and your scouts don't get rebuffed, or you're just a 100 HP long range sticky gamer for the rest of the mid and
Yeah,
to see your scouts get healed. So it was a really big deal. So and in a way, there's a lot of like interesting things that could happen to like analyze about this game if you played it with no items.
yeah. I
There's no way it happens, but just like
no,
food for
I
thought,
don't.
fun
Team
thinking.
Zillitang is readied up. They're ready to
Oh,
go.
well,
They
yeah,
want to
but
play with no items.
it takes 2 to tango, right? Catgirl Cafe is not gonna do this.
We'll
But they
see.
are looking for an alternative server to
Yeah.
see if there's one that does have the item server working, so they're asking around and seeing if they can, uh, find one,
All
I
I'm gonna
think.
say is,
Yeah.
I think the mental game is in favor of 20ZC right now because they were willing to play on 2007 stock items. I think that's a mental advantage for them. That they're shows that they're being chads right now, whereas the other team, a little more afraid of no items.
Maybe a tad.
You gotta be dynamic if you play them, but I think playing with 2007 items makes you dynamic.
There's also the I guess, the annoyance factor, like, how annoyed are you about, like, "Oh, we
Yeah,
could be playing right now,
if
like,
there's
oh, it's
one
not a big
person
deal."
if there's one person who just like gets very upset about it, like if there's just like one person that just happens like they just can't handle it, that it could just ruin your whole team dynamic. So like if
Every
your
team has
medic
one of
like
those.
cannot handle having his bow and he starts bursting into tears over it, like that would definitely kill the team dynamic.
Every team has by default one player that is really stingy about having their
Yes.
unlocks working or about having their ping at their average ping, like,
Yeah. It's like I have 10 more ping. I can't do my C tab now.
it's like, "I can't equip my secondary," or, "I have 15 more ping than normal, this sucks."
Yeah.
Every team has, like, one,
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah. The technical issues player. Yeah, we are currently looking for a server. Team 20ZC is here, all six readied up, whereas I believe the Catgirl
Catgirl
Cafe is
Cafe
actively looking for a server.
Yeah, they have
Also,
half their
where's that
team out
deer?
of the server to actually physically go into servers and see if they can, like,
Yeah.
uh, check items, which I think is very telling the fact that 20ZC doesn't care about the no items, so they're just all, like, in the server, they're not checking for themselves at all, they're like, "Well, it's whatever.
Not forfeit win.
Either find it or we'll reschedule, it's not a big deal."
Yeah. Oh, I found the deer. Let's go.
I think Dolphin's looking at the deer right now.
Oh, I didn't know where it was. I had to find it.
I remember the old position of the deer, it was up on the hill on 2nd. Oh, wait, no, there is still a deer there. There's multiple, right?
Oh, there. I found a different one. There's one.
Yeah, there's multiple.
Yeah.
I don't know where
Well,
the one Dolphin's at, though. I know there's one on 2.
it's so. I mean, yeah, it's in
Oh,
spawn.
above blue spawn.
There's one in red spawn too.
Yeah, eat both spawns. The one I know of is, just, on 2 by the, valley
Yeah.
entrance.
I wonder if there's a ladder to climb all the way up the lighthouse. I think that'd be good map design. They should have that. Like, imagine like you're just pushing to Sunshine Second, and there's just a soldier like on top of the lighthouse.
I think that would, considering how much people complain about, like, wall bugs of soldiers hiding in the skybox just infinitely, I think even if it was a legitimate hiding spot, people would very much complain and ask to have sunshine removed. Apparently, Dolphin says they've decided to play like this, and I
Let's
don't know if I believe
go.
him.
Let's go. I'm excited.
Apparently, Jay has said that, so I believe Jay is fine with playing like this, but the last thing that I saw in chat was Catgirl Cafe saying, "Maybe we can snag the one that our pregame was in," or things like that, but this chat is, like, 2 minutes in the past, so
Yeah.
I can't necessarily believe that as the, the thing that's gonna happen, but that's actually really interesting if they actually play with with no items at the
I,
start.
I
You just get them
I'm
partway
hyped.
through.
This is new territory. It's been a hot minute since I've
So
seen
those theory
2017 too.
craftings are actually gonna be really important.
Yeah.
Like, the skill level of the demo is gonna be huge for the mid because you can't get bursted. It makes going fast impossible, so that's no longer a threat without, like, mutilating your HP as a soldier. It also means the soldiers themselves very likely are heavily incentivized to play extremely fast, otherwise they're just gonna lose all of their health and not have any because they can't get bowed back up.
Someone
Um,
in chat, yeah, someone in chat brought up a really good point. What if like halfway through the match, just like one person gets their items? Like one medic has. Imagine if one medic has a bow and the other medic doesn't have a bow.
I mean, you're gonna have to die or go back to resup,
Like
but,
Oh, okay. Oh, they
classic.
found a new server.
Dolphin says they
No.
found a new server as the 2-minute behind chat catches up, and Moxie's like, "Oh, I guess we play this one because the old server
Yeah.
got booked." So can't trust chat
My,
for
my,
this
my dreams are
flip
crushed.
flopping now. Man, that's gonna be interesting. It's not often you actually get two teams that are like, screw it,
Yeah.
let's just play with no items.
I think it helps that it's week one, so there's like, not that the stakes aren't high, but it's like I feel like you're more lenient with silly things in like week one, where it's just like, we got the whole season ahead of us.
Yeah, I mean, if you feel like you're not that reliant on it, like it's only gonna change like. I guess it does change a couple of things because no bow, no you know,
Yeah,
gunboat.
I just realized a lot of our cursed matches, like where we just been like in like casting purgatory for like minutes on end. It's always sunshine. You notice
It
that?
is always sunshine.
It's
But
always
think about
it's
this,
always
Matt.
sunshine.
At least the other one was an hour long, though. This
Yeah,
one's
that
only been
one.
30 minutes.
Yeah, that this one wasn't as bad. We don't have the table set up yet. That's when you know it gets bad if we have to set up on the table.
True. And then Dolphin gets like the background music with
Yeah.
starts pulling in PNGs off of Google because he is just trying to find something to do.
Yeah, welcome to the SGC and Jared podcast.
But everyone has left the server, which means they have found a new one. So we're waiting for them to get the STV and Archon to send to Dolphin to send to us so we can get in.
Yeah, a lot of working parts here.
Yeah, it's a new season. These things happen.
Yeah, I'm just glad it's a good thing that it's happening now and not like during a playoff match or some other like really bad time. If you want to have issues, it is probably gonna be like week one literal first match. Just get all like the bad karma out of the way.
Yeah, true. I mean, it's probably just best to get it over with. So.
Also, shout out to Tuesday. It's just the best day to play golf games. I understand. I understand why they have to do it. It's funny how it's so regular. It just like it just happens. There's no preventing it.
Just one of those things you got to work through if you're scheduling a Tuesday match. You kind of know there's a risk of that happening.
Yeah, like you show up to Pugs and it's like I can't wait to Pug, and then you're like, oh wait, it's Tuesday at like 6 p.m. Not happening.
I think most of the time it's fine for matches though, because a lot of the time the stuff happens, it's way earlier than what it is right now. Someone stayed at the offices like much late, I guess.
Yeah,
like,
the potted
much
plant
later
was
than
working
normal.
overtime.
Yeah. Usually it's just like, the only thing that's really relevant is like, oh, Steam's down, I can't communicate for like half an hour or something at like 6 p.m., which is like, it's whatever. You can work through it.
Oh my god, look at this server, even the pings are different. I'm seeing a lot more single-digit pings in the server, so this is just the best server of all time currently.
Well, knock on wood for that. You don't want to curse them.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not playing. I don't care if I curse them.
Oh no, but remember I just told the SIVO story off stream. How trying to play when SIVO was a thing, the second iteration of SIVO, and you would try to get a SIVO server, and you'd have to. The routing was so bad to all the default SIVO servers for matches that you literally had to like swap like to 3 or 4 different servers before you could play their match, because there's always at least one person that had over 100 ping. And it was a different person every time, like, oh, our demo has, like, 110 ping, alright, new server. Oh, now it's their medic. Oh, now it's their scout. And then finally you get lucky enough to get a server. In between getting hit by a noted message.
Yeah, noted. I'm looking... God, people have hats now. It's like they were naked before. They actually have, like, hats on. I do see some marker burners out on the... Isn't that just on Pocket?
Man, that's the first thing you equip if you're
that's true.
on Sunshine.
Yeah, an aspiring soldier main.
But we do have everyone rejoining the server, which is good news. So
just waiting on a. Oh, it's not Stinky Exile. I thought it was gonna be Exile. So Exile second to last to join. We're just waiting on someone. No, it's not
Hazen.
Devil. Easy. There we go. Yeah, I was going through the names and my brain was not working. But okay, now that we actually have items, we're back on like somewhat. Oh, we're on the scrim config, so we gotta more delays.
It's okay, 2 minutes in the past. We're all
Yep.
good here.
True, true.
Certainly, they changed off the scrim config within 2 minutes.
I wouldn't. I'm making no assumptions here.
The Dolphin hasn't even given us the like 2-minute or
Yeah.
what is it, like 1-minute warning they've gone live yet. So still figuring stuff
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I guess we haven't gone into mids too much. I'm trying to think it down the list here. We haven't. I guess we haven't gone to mids too much here. What they haven't changed this map at all, right? I know they changed Snake Water a bunch, which is odd, and we'll get into that whenever Snake Water is played. But are they actually playing the new version of Snake Water?
Same old. So
I guess they have to.
yeah, there's no changes to Sunshine at all. It's been the same old. So not really going to be anything new there. It's all what the teams bring to the table. I'm kind of curious if any of the teams are going to do like the Death Ball Ring Around the Rosie type mid, honestly, because with everything being new for the teams and like trying to solidify everything, get your stuff together, if you do that type of mid and you're stuck on the other team's side of the map, you're going to be in for a rough time. Gonna
That's
full
the
wipe.
sad zone.
So I'm kind of curious if either of these teams are going to be confident enough to be like, yeah, let's just death ball and end up on their side, and then if we win hard, and if we lose hard. If anyone's gonna play high risk,
I wouldn't put it past 20ZC to start doing that at some point. Like I feel like if they win the first mid or something, or if they like either that or they lose really badly, I guess those are both the options. Very good casting by me. But if something really weird happens, I wouldn't put it past 20ZC to do that, where they just death ball them, say like, "Hey, our DM's better. Let's just walk at them." You know.
yeah, if
If
you have
any
the
one
confidence.
team's going to do that, yeah, they have the confidence factor going into this.
For the side of Catgirl Cafe, I think playing like that is probably a last-ditch effort. I mean, maybe they pull it straight out of the gate, but I feel like that's such a classic, like... It's difficult because that's the classic, like, we don't have strategies yet because we've only been a team for so long and played so much Sunshine, so let's just all stick together so it's easy to coordinate and we all are, like, next to each other and see the same thing. But it's also, like, such the... Like, it makes sense when you say it like that, right? But like I said, it's such the riskiest, like, route to go. If it fails, it fails bad.
Yeah, the holding hands mid is not as safe as you would like to believe as a newer player. I mean, everyone here is experienced, so they all know. I'm sure they all know the the foibles of the themes. Everyone walk at them on Sunshine mid because it is. I feel like it's particularly can be particularly bad. It can backfire pretty hard on this map. But oh, dude, I just got baited. I thought they were raiding up.
Yeah, I had to unready and make sure everyone was there, but we are going live between these two teams, Catgirl Cafe and 20ZC here, RGL Invite 6 of Season 10, Week 1A here on Sunshine. Gonna have to see what both teams coming up with. It seems like we have some Valley rollouts, some choke... actually both Valley rollouts for both sides.
Ash is giga fast.
Actually really fast, and Avertity's not quite there yet, so no damage onto him to zone him out, so
Yes. Someone said "uh-oh" at the beginning. Someone
Really?
literally said "uh-oh,"
that.
and I knew it was in for disaster. I also wanted to say, not that it mattered that much, but that mid went so fast, or rather, Averted was so slow to mid, it worked out in his favor, because if he went fast, Ash would have been able to beat him, but he was so slow that Ash was just waiting there as Averted just like casually strolled into mid.
What even happened? Was it the classic like somehow my W isn't bound, or like what?
No, he just went Valley and just like walked. Like he took the pack and just like took a jog to get there.
The reason for
I don't know.
I didn't see it because I was watching the beginning. I was watching
I don't know. That said
uh-oh,
and then we're re.
Oh, the round timer was 10 minutes. You don't have to re for that. What? They probably had to re to look up like what the Archon was or something.
Speaking of reading, I think we're going to be some reading for me and Jared soon if they keep doing this.
I mean, we're not quite there yet. We're getting there to our previous record, but
yeah,
we have the 60 seconds till live thing. So
there we go.
It's just probably going to be real. Fingers crossed. I don't want to get debated again. I'm gonna wait like partway through this roll.
My heart
doesn't work.
Handle so much betrayal.
What do you mean it doesn't work, Daffodil? What are you saying? Oh, another re. What doesn't work?
I literally. Okay. Do they just not have the right config on? Like, I am mystified by what is the problem here?
In the beginning, the time was wrong, but I'm not sure what. I'm not sure. I didn't see.
The server needs to be exercised.
Hmm. Something is apparently wrong.
I don't. One team. Look, I'm all I can say is the team with Archon has a lot of anime avatars. I'll just leave it as that. You can't trust the anime avatars.
The only real complication is I don't think this is their server. They've stolen it because of the broken items on the other servers that they like booked through ServeMe and stuff like that. I think this is just someone's server that's like, yeah, you can use this. So they
Yeah,
might have to be like asking someone for the Archon, and I don't know who that someone is, and that someone might be in the middle of a match right now.
yeah. What's more cursed, playing on a 5-minute runtime or playing a 2007 items?
Uh,
I guess just like the wrong config, because now we're in the 5-minute timeline, so the 10-minute. Then we're going back to the 10-minute timeline.
Oh, you know what? There's a reason why config thing is really important. Is this is like the infinite like season, right? Where
What?
they changed the config to where it, like runs infinitely or whatever.
We're talking about
Like
Golden.
there's or no.
I don't know what you're talking. I'm down for the infinite season. It sounds very exciting, but I don't know the details.
Oh, I think Dolphin said it was just a timer.
Okay.
I probably misread. I know they changed something with the clock for this season compared to the previous season, but well,
Oh
we'll see
wait.
how long it takes for them to change everything.
All right. All I'm gonna say is, let's just say a certain stinky individual in the server apparently got the Archon, and that stinky person name, I'm sure a lot of people in chat can immediately figure out who it was. Some things never change.
Right, well, oh, the config had a 55-minute timer? What is... Oh, okay, 10-minute round timer instead of updated 5, okay. So there was a normal CFG like the ones that we were using years ago, or around, like,
Yeah.
timer of 10, okay. That makes sense.
They're just playing on the 10-minute timer. Everyone gave up. Someone said Banny config stinks in the chat. Love to see it.
This is the 10-minute timer. We'll see what repercussions come from that later on,
Yeah.
but either way, it looks like they're playing, so we're going to cast it. Have Ash going quick, the same with the side of Nabla, so some pressure from both sides, but not tons of damage right off the bat. Immediately, a fast bomb coming in. One of the soldiers messes up the bomb, though. The soldier's in, but immediately gets molten on the side of the Tetris, and that's Nabla going down, and the rest of the blue team backs up, and silly. 20 HP has to go for a pack, but the rest of the blue team is unleashed, and yeah, that bit of a miscommunication and mixed execution with the bombs is going to leave the side of Catgirl Cafe running for their lives all the way back to last. And 20ZC, they've survived it and worked their way to 2, getting free. And right off the bat, we might have a stalemate depending on how well Catgirl Cafe holds last.
Dakota had one of the saddest mids I've seen in a while. First they failed their jump, and then they tried to jump again and got like double air shot before like they even actually executed their jump. It was just one of those mids. It happens, but
yeah, they tried to jump off the tower and like hit their head on the edge or something.
Yeah, then they tried again, and it just was not happening. But we're gonna settle into a last hold here, as we are gonna see an immediate pogo onto the demo as we're gonna focus down super hard, and I think they're gonna try to play off that. But Brightside gonna fall so low means that they're gonna have to get a little healthy before they actually decides to push this, but Averted is down for over 15 seconds, means that they have ample opportunity here to try to get through a door.
Yeah, High Five's walking in, it's going to blow back Dakota a bit, so they've actually worked their way in entirely to be able to stay on this heavy and get even more room. Yep, Brainstorm even on top of the point, it's going to cause the red team to go forward, go and use their Uber, trying to chase down the soldiers and maybe even get the force out of the side as well. He will use in the side of the lobby. Artist dying over the opposite side of the map, over on the last, as the rest of the blue team runs in and try to take extra to the better Uber. Oh, High Five immediately, almost just 3-shot by the side of Xi, who's still on the move, through underneath, trying to go for a flank play, but a bit too early, and it's going to get taken down by the side of Jay. So red team, they have some openings, but not really in the position to really go forward, and just gonna go ahead and relax on their last reset. And 20ZC didn't really work out their push, but at least they get to go for a second try.
Yeah, I think red team did a great job there kiting that Uber from blue. They had to pop first, and they got a lot of space with it, and they managed to just tactically get out there, so blue really couldn't fight that. So I think that's actually very well executed by red team there. Alleviating a lot of the pressure that resulted from them dying. But speaking of pressure, Jay's gonna die, so that's another demo death. But this time on the blue team, as they're gonna fall in. Red team gonna try to get a little aggressive in the lobby here, but a lot of hurt players. Brand Slam smells blood, gets in, manages to live, but red team has posted up in lobby.
Yeah, but as they try to get in lobby, they actually took so much damage. I think Averted and then one of the soldiers that was trying to go for a counterattack immediately got taken down to like red HP. So there's no way they're actually going to try to do anything meaningful with that demo man death. So Good job from the side of 20cc. Even though they lost their demo, they're able to make it really difficult for the red team to actually do anything meaningful off of it. So back to square one here as both Ubers are ready for either team. And it looks like the Catgirl Cafe is slightly more centralized. They've realized that this right-hand side of the map, from their perspective, is being heavily abused.
Comes a bomb.
But, oh, bomb from Ash onto Averted. He is going to die, and they're actually going to lose 2, maybe even 3 if Ransom runs in and just going for the 3-man, actually getting nothing for that. And that's a pretty good like opportunity for the side of Cat Posse to work their way into 2.
I don't see where Jay's other trap is, but he does have a sneaky trap on the point there that very yep, the scout I knew that was a scout trap. Alright, they're gonna fall and they're actually gonna get the forces. Both soldiers end up going. One is behind and getting chased down by the Ubers here. So Red does have full Uber here if they can manage to survive just this incoming whatever play Blue has to make here, because they did lose 3 for it. So another 3-man sack. This one actually gets the force.
Yeah, even though you use your Uber, at least you do kill 3, so there's an opportunity to go for a sack here if it does look open enough. You see some traps on either side from the side of Averted, and Mopsy is on the heavy to try to defend things as Bomb comes in for Artist, try to make space. Ash as well, try to continue the hurt. Getting the heavy a little bit weak, have to back
Look at the point time.
Averted had to go back into spawn to reset, the Uber's gonna get forced out. High 5 will drop, and so will Ash as the rest of them runs away. Ransom able to get out alive, and the side of 20cc has worked their way out into 2, but with down 2, are they gonna be able to hold on to second? Catgirl Cafe inside lobby, trying to poke around, trying to find an open doors. Ziggy's Ardet by the side of Jay, blasted back, and Dakota bombing in.
Ooh, nice air shot.
Who will fall from the side of Branson, able to clean up that kill. Jay popping there, oh, barely misses and dodges the air shot, and he gets his way back to choke. But Branson holding onto the platform strong for his team, and this hold from the side of 20cc is amazing because their ad is at 90% right now. 40 ad getting ready to work their way in last with 1 pick already, just trying to find a door, and it looks like it's going to be far left from their perspective. Actually, no, top right from their perspective.
Yeah, they thought about it, but they're gonna get the level 1 pretty much immediately, and they're actually gonna get point time here. They already had a point time for their previous push, so that does make this last push a bit easier as Dakota is gonna fall, but we do have a Pudis on the field. Exile on the Pudis here. He is posted up. He is getting tanked pretty well as the soldier's bombing him, but he's gonna get focused down, and that should be the last here as 20ZC gonna get up 1-0 on the board. And yeah, I was gonna say that when they pushed, that was a really stressful push out of last from Catgirl Cafe. Like I don't blame them for failing that because that was stressful because of all that point time. They had to worry about the backhand.
Yeah, they had a lot of picks though. They just weren't able to cover their doors, and then even in that last hold, they dropped 2, and then the heavy and someone else are on each other's models for even more damage from the explosives. So it makes sense.
They
last
5 and
fall,
roll
but
Cat Valley.
they did. So we'll have to actually both teams pretty much did. So they're mirroring in a way. Gonna have the spam go up across both teams. Averted actually taking a lot of damage from the side of Jay and the rest of the explosive classes. Bomb coming in from Ash, already half HP. Will lays on Azen. Prop him up. 9 HP, trying to survive. Will die to fall damage as 2 are dead from the side of Catgirl Cafe. Ash gonna give up his life as the rest of them are actually trying to chase down Artist, who gets the kill into XL, doing a 180 in the middle of the air, getting that frag for his team. And only Novel and Averted are left alive, and they're so far back, they're gonna cut their losses. Go ahead and go back to last. 20ZC, they've taken this mid and only having to give up their soldiers, and they're looking like they want to take 2 for free as well.
Yeah, the red team definitely not in a position to be able to fight this. Averted does have, passive stickies in lobby, kind of trapped himself up, just hoping somebody, kind of goes into them. But it's just another full Uber ad last push. Ooh, Spy, love to see it.
He's actually committing onto it. He's not just checking.
I do like, Nabla or Dabla, aka Def, is a Highlander player, so very capable of the Highlander memes, but he's got to go pretty fast here as he has already went.
Oh,
he misses the stab. He forced him. Easy.
I guess he got the force.
Easy force.
The butter knife was enough to scare him. And actually, this Uber is over before it even began. They're barely in, and Jay's actually gone super deep. He might be in a bit of trouble, but is backing off, and no one's actually able to commit onto him. He's very weak. He's done some damage and on his way out, but oh, the collapse on the side of 20ZC. They're able to get into this corner where the boxes are, and it's only Azen left alive. So despite the lackluster Uber, they are able to make sure they're salvage it in some way, and the side of Catgirl Cafe will end up losing last, and it's 2-0 for the side of 20ZC.
Yeah, you only need Uber for space anyway. They just, as long as they got in through the door, by that point it was just a dry fight, and they have already gone through the worst part, which is getting through the door, and from there they actually just kind of out DM'd them. Red team all got caught in the sad corner. That was it.
Yeah, that's been the story for both last pushes so far. Push into the corner and then kind of collapsed on, but at another mid right now, both teams are relatively healthy for now. No one's quite pulled the trigger yet, but actually see both the red soldiers bombing in. Over onto different targets just a tad. Naba's gonna go in actually and clean up a high five.
W into them.
Yeah, he's just in. He's pretty much alone now underneath, taking one going versus Jay, and will survive for at least for now, but Mike cleaned up by Branson. He turns around, does collect that frag. So 3-for-1 trade as they are caught on the wrong side of the map. Catgirl Cafe are forced to loop around, go into Valley, buy some time for the Uber, but this cap is going the way of 20ZC, and they're on the move. Although no one's leaving anyone behind to block for mid, but Catgirl Cafe is slow to start the cap in the first place, so it's going to be none the wiser as Artist. He actually is here on mid. They're not turning around. He might just go ahead and get the force into Azen early. Going for the he's able to get it. They were unaware of the respawner, and they will get punished for it, not just from the drop, but maybe even their last as they are in deep, trying to get damage on the cap. Will clean up Mopsy, and what a play from the side of Artist and Catgirl Cafe. They're going to have to go back to the drawing board for this one.
That felt like such a disconnect between the combo and just the teams in general, as they really, I feel like, struggled to like half the players walked forward on Catgirl Cafe on that mid, and half the players just did not walk forward. And the damage was there that if they walked forward, they actually would have gotten the kill, or they would have gone the kill. As we actually are going to a fourth mid, so we are on the oldie config of
True, there's no halftime here. They are still going, but both the soldiers taking height, going in for a bomb right off the bat, trying to find a way into Zilly, going for the strat. If you can't win a mid, at least kill the medics so you can survive, and they are going to be successful in that endeavor. Azen still barely alive with his team on the wrong side of the map once again, but only high five left after Dakota's able to get a 3K so far, almost directed into high five, trying to dance, dodge, and dive and make sure he can survive and get something out of this, but will not succeed. And that mid going for Zilly right off the bat, and Azen somehow he stayed alive throughout it all, getting to the other side of the map through thick and thin. Great play and great adjustment to net themselves their first mid win.
I don't know if he expected to live, but it's a nice cherry on top of they actually do manage to live, and that time it looked a lot better. It was like, kind of like the same strategy as before, but this time they actually they actually managed to clean up off of the damage that their flank did when they just walked at him. So big plays there coming in from Red, managing to turn it around. Who needs halftime when you just win the next mid?
Yeah, seems like High Five might be caught in a little bit. They're trying to see if they could poke around because only 3 people were there actually capping, but weren't able to actually find anything, and it's going to be High Five getting caught out a bit. But just after 20CC, immediately going in, because they tried to go in early.
I'm looking at the wrong door.
As Exile on the cap, trying to bomb in and try to block it, able to get the flash in. There's so much cap time, and they went so heavy on the idea of there's only 3 at 2, let's block it and stop them and force them. Not only did they not succeed, but they lost what could have been their engineer, and no one was on in the first place. That's not too difficult of a setup for Catgirl Cafe to try to break, so they're able to get themselves around on the board here, 3-1 in favor of 20ZC.
Yeah, that last Brand Slam was just staring at an empty door because they had 0 players go through the door. As we see, a fast from Ash, he actually doesn't do any damage, but he manages to get out, so overall pretty fancy, but it's going to result in his health falling, as he is pretty much out of the mid, so this is going to be a 5v6 for a bit, as Ash is trying to get some health.
Yeah, he's basically not in the picture at all. He's stuck in his own valley. Might go for a super flank at the very end. Tail end of things. They're not aware of him. The soldiers will bomb in. Artist trying to help, getting some damage onto Averted, but will not clean up, able to ape the arrow and staying alive as both teams are on, once again, the wrong side of mid. And after all said and done, 2 for 2 trade from both these teams with some damage from the side of 20ZC. But yeah, the flank coming in. Ash able to take down Mopsy, so he is behind and putting the crunch on him. Uber's going to come from side of Ace and will pop it. Not quite connected with XL, has to back up to make sure he's reflashed, and Zilly, who's only at 85%, is trying to make sure he's able to get in time. Stuck indoors, but they're unable to get Zilly, at least for now. It's barely 18 HP, 97%. Will escape. Dakota going in. Will have to pop from the final rocket that will get out, and yeah, the Nabla, he's kind of doesn't need to do anything anymore. And Force has already gotten. He's trying to survive by some time, and will get the kill onto Ash, so at least that's a trade, but at the end of the day, 20CC able to take the mid and work their way onto 2, and I mean, this ad is going to be pretty small, but maybe,
They might just push into last. Look at they're just getting their spawns now as they got second.
Maybe it's a 5v5 though, because they're missing Ash as well, and then Nabla's going to spawn mid-fight. Maybe if they killed Averted, as he was like really aggressive there, but with a 15 ad, this is going to be, if they use this, it's going to be like the most Chad Uber of like ever.
I don't want to put it past them. I don't expect it, but I also, I wouldn't be surprised. If there's one team that's going to Chad like this, it's probably this team.
Maybe. I mean, it also partially depends on how they're holding. I think the way they're positioned, how they're all getting buffed, I think they want to try to go for it.
I just noticed that Artist and Ash have the same loadout. They're they have the matching loadout synergy.
Oh, they're just going for a sack instead. They're able to get the gun, they got Exile, they got Dakota. They are very much abusing this right-hand side of the map. You have the heals and the demo on the left side from the defender's perspective that makes this barrels area just so free, and they're able to punish them time and time again.
Look how far they got in without using.
They're finally able to get the exchange off right here, and that just goes to show how much this hold is getting dismantled. Catgirl Cafe does not have their last hold pristine where they want it to be, and a soldier trying to work his way behind. Novel gonna get cleaned up and barely able to get anywhere near where the old claw was on the high ground behind the point. Aizen taken down as well, so no heals for either team. There's a pace has to be played super fast now. Moxie, Dakota fall, averted the last one left alive, taken out of the sky by the side of Bransam, who's on a 7k there, and 4-1 for the side of 20ZC, looking to clean things up.
That was just the amount of space and pressure they got off of just that drive push was absolutely insane. Like, Zilly was basically just AFK, like, in the enemy team's last with Uber, and he didn't get forced until he, like, passed by a spawn door, which is absolutely insane.
If there's any pattern we've seen so far from this match, it's definitely that last hold from the side of Catgirl Cafe is getting heavily abused by the side of 20ZC, so we'll see if adjustments come in. Yeah. But roamer battle in the side of the blue cafe with Dakota will barely live at 7 HP after taking that pack, so gonna be a 5v5 for now until he's able to get some health and come back into things. Artist bombing in, a bit of a lone bomb, getting some damage, but no one's able to clean it up, so immediately down both soldiers as Ash was dead prior. High-5 trying to go in and salvage, able to take down Nabla, but Aizen, 30 HP, they're able to get a couple frags, but Zilly is the only one left alive. He just got out of dodge, sent his team down to the gutter to try to clean up some kills, but weren't quite the kills they wanted. Aizen still alive, able to take mid and 2 for free as well. No one on the side of 20ZC able to really block this. The only thing they have going for them is the Delman is dead, so they might poke just a tad as they peek around lobby and see if anything looks free, but I don't think they'll commit unless something's free. Yeah, he's poking around. It does look free, actually. They're not actually trying to spam the shutters. They're just going to walk in. They're just stacking the cap. Uber will come out, force Uber exchange over to the grassy area by where the beach is. The Uber's not coming out from the side of Zilly. He's disrespecting the scout so much, and he's going to get left out to dry. Blast into the corner, clean up by the side of the blue team. As Jay bombs in, trying to go deep, but just a tad too deep, and will die to the side of Novel. So overall, 1-for-1 trade as Jay will fall. Branson poking in mid, trying to buy room for his team, but I think he realizes his team is not quite ready, so backing up. No demo available for the side of 20ZC and Catgirl Cafe. They could try to abuse this. There are no stickies. They're just getting buffed up because they were very weak after that tail end of the fight, but they're beginning to poke through now, trying to see if it's open. Soldier bomb's coming in, immediately denied. Actually, but it's Dakota that doesn't, it's not able to make any space at all. So yeah, just cancel that immediately. Nabla very weak as well. XL trying to hold down the valley area, and it's 20ZC's time to walk the choke and get onto Averted.
Yeah, both teams are just disrespecting these chokes, although it does seem that 20ZC is better able to actually block them, as Asian's just gonna barely live here and does have slight Uber rep. Even if they know, I don't think they're in really position to do much about it. It looks like he might get forced soon. Yeah, he's gonna have to pop just off of his health. And they're actually living here, so huge plays from 20ZC is they're actually able to get out, and everyone's able to stay alive. That's insane.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, it's just a soldier and a scout Uber. I mean, the scout can only hit so much. Wasn't able to clean up the kill, but Uber ready for the side of the blue team. You do have Dakota into the corner, but is spotted out by Branson, who initiates for his team. You also have another corner hider on the side of Exile over in the cafe area. That force will happen as Dakota bombs in as well, but getting 2 for an Uber force, I mean, that's not great, as they leave one to cap it, immediately getting in the lobby and trying to go ahead and see if they can poke their way through and find an opening.
Yeah, they're just gonna find a door.
They found the door. They do have their heals and heavy and demo centralized. They're starting to learn. They're starting to put the pressure on this
Somebody
side
shoot
of the
high
door.
five.
Slam, he's just through. Same with high five. They're getting on to Aizen, and he will fall heavy on the point, trying to collapse and make sure that there's enough cap, but he's able to get 2. He got an achievement. What achievement is that? Excuse me?
It's a heavy one.
At the end of the day, they hold on to things. Jay and Silly are the last ones left alive. Jay trying to just be the martyr for his team and buy some time.
He got
Dakota, but Zilly will fall.
Jay's going to last.
Exile, and he's going to last. Oh, he's in
where
lobby.
Is he okay, Jay's lost.
Is he going to kill Exile? He does kill Exile.
He's
just on an adventure, and he has his team with him. He escaped somehow.
He just won 2 1v1s in a row with like half HP. Okay, maybe Jay does have the X factor in demo as well. He's just the best player of all time.
Yeah, they did lose Zilly in that, though. A bit of a disconnect at the tail end of things as XL got that kill. So there is technically an ad for the side of Catgirl Cafe for them to use. Respectably sizable, 35% or so, although his sun sign lasts, so you have to be careful if you decide you want to use this. It could be, be the thing that breaks you out and lets you play this round, or it could be the thing that, puts the nail in the coffin for the match. So it seems like they're starting to move. They want to go ahead and try to use it. They have it 100% as the Uber starts to dwindle. They immediately start to pop Poe again, trying to work their way through Valley, but no one's really seeing Ash is on his way out. Same with Brand Slam, and no kills will be gained by the side of Catgirl Cafe. Zilly at 90%. They're already starting to poke the choke, and they're just stacking the point times 6. They're not actually stopping 20ZC from coming in. They're finally bombing in, trying to get on Zilly. Drop down to 100 HP is not quite enough to get the force, and they've dropped 3 in an attempt to try to get this force. At the end of the day, are unsuccessful entirely. They did
Oh,
get the
artist
cap.
felt.
They
There's a
did
there's a
get.
trap.
They got artists. They got high five. So there is some consolation there. As this Uber, if it comes in, is only going to be with 3 people if they go right now. And
Yeah, and they
as
did
time
get a
ticks
spawn, so it's
down,
gonna be
yeah, they're gonna get some players.
Yeah, 20cc wisely electing to just buy their time here. Don't want to overrush this and force out and have your Uber do nothing because they still do have Uber at even after this if they go right now. And it looks like
Yeah,
they are. They're
gun.
gonna be in, and that's gonna be a
Oh,
dead demo
British
man.
is dead.
Yeah, he just got the scout walked in. But
Same with
Ash is
Dakota.
gonna fall as well. The scouts are running an absolute train though, although big shots there from Nabla, but not gonna matter in the end. They do get this Uber off, but it's just trying to shoot Jay, and they've done 0 damage.
Yeah, Jay's taking
He
0
took 0.
damage.
Okay. Was that That was Exile.
That was Exile. Well, that's the way the cookie crumbles. They weren't able to get a gun up. It got spammed down right at the beginning there, so they had time to get a hole, but didn't actually succeed in that endeavor. So at the end of the day, look at you. Well, I wouldn't say look at us because I just kind of stole your prediction, but 5-1 prediction.
Yeah,
20ZC taking home the first match of the season here on Sunshine.
Yeah, all according to script. Just how we drew it up last night.
Yep, exactly. Even the
Oh yeah,
the
that
items
was
thing too. We delayed ourselves by 40 minutes.
of course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just for
definitely.
the excitement.
Of
We
course.
had to buy time for everyone's scrims and stuff to be done.
Yeah,
you know? We were
the first
curious.
match of the season, definitely. But yeah, pretty dominant showing from 20ZC overall, even minus the half times in round silliness.
Correct score guessers, no one.
We should have guessed in chat. I always forget to do that.
Yeah, I should. Yeah. Okay, no, never mind. It was no. There are there are correct
Alright.
score guessers. So, but we can take a look at the logs. Go ahead and alt tab them and pull this up.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
We actually don't have to combine them because it was just an entire.
Yeah, that's actually.
app. So we can take a peek, and I'm not too surprised to see who is top damaging the server after the adventures we saw him go on. Jay almost entering 400 DPM.
That J fellow is pretty good. Also, he only died 4 times. With the things I was seeing him doing, the fact that he only died 4 times is kind of distressing. I saw Jay go on some adventures like you.
Yeah, I think realistically, when you think about it, I think it kind of makes sense. Even just the teams in general to see so much damage coming from the side of the blue team compared to the red, because the way that I think Catgirl Cafe was kind of holding down chokes as they were capping and things like that, and even holding down their last was not very. It didn't feel like they actually owned control over the area they were sitting around, which it definitely felt that way for the side of 20ZC, where it was a struggle to actually get through the chokes for Catgirl Cafe, but when Catgirl Cafe was holding something, 20cc kind of just walked in just a tad. There was a little bit of spam, but definitely not quite enough.
Yeah, like some players getting hurt, but like there was so many players walking through, like the player who was hurt could just get healed and then can continue on their merry adventure.
Yeah, they kind of got tickled just a tad, but I think at the end of the day, it's most of the stats aren't too crazy or surprising for Catgirl Cafe. The one person that does stick out is Exile, but he is the one that's getting Ubered and is able to like be in the Uber exchanges and try to farm some of the soldiers that are being aggressive. But I mean, medic stat of dying 8 times, a sad domain stat side of Catgirl Cafe. I mean, I think that's to be expected.
Yeah, Brandslam has 7 demo picks too, so Brandslam, getting a lot of impact on those demo kills.
True, he's definitely showing us prowess on the flank compared to he's not just a combo one trick, but still got to get tested a bit. This was a slightly lopsided matchup, I would say, probably, but we'll see later on. I think we're casting these guys next week twice in a row against 2 other playoff teams. I think Froyo and G6 if those matches happen, but
yeah, I just opened up those logs. Yeah,
Dalton has news.
Yeah, Freotech has actually the Freotech Estrogen match has completed, and Freotech won on a 4-3 versus Estrogen on Snakewater. So definitely a close match there. So should be interesting to see how Neo Froyo does.
And they play Mal tomorrow. That's gonna be really important. Like, and yeah, Estrogen was a move-up team as well. Dolphins says they were 4th place in advance last season, so some wild things happening early on. But
I think I'm assuming the roster changed because they do say they have Pete and Pizza, known invite quantity. Same thing with Pablo.
Yeah, so we'll have to see what happens. It's going to be an exciting season. We see a showcase today of new rosters, see a showcase tomorrow, and then I guess technically Thursday won't be a showcase because you're seeing Catgirl Cafe again versus Dynasty, which is I think is like almost the same as last season. So
Yeah.
But definitely a jam-packed week with a lot of important happenings. This is just a showcase, I think, for the most part for both these teams. But tomorrow is going to be really important for playoffs. Thursday is going to be really important to even see if you're in the playoffs runnings at all after that match. And then the week after is definitely going to be really neat to see where teams really fall versus 20ZC in particular. They have
Yeah.
2 playoff matches, so it's going to be a jam-packed first 2 weeks.
Definitely. It's a lot of TF2 to find out. A lot of lore developing.
All right, well, I don't think we have interviews?
I was gonna
Question
ask you.
mark.
I don't think we do.
I mean, it was a pretty relatively one-sided, but we'll probably get an opportunity to talk with 20ZC next week. I can only imagine
Yeah.
with the matches they have, so we can wait until then to ask them the juicy questions about their roster and their dynamic and stuff like that, and give them more time to figure things out in the first place, anyways.
Yeah.
But I think
I
it's
guess
gonna
that's
be,
it. Yeah.
for the most part, I guess this is probably the part we plug in merch.
I was gonna
It's been
say, do
like
we
a
have
month.
merch? I don't know what the merch
Oh no,
plugs are.
it's been like a month since I've casted. I've been off my game, but yeah, merch is still
Same.
up. I think it's the same. It's the same link. It's like shop.rgl.gg. Merch is like,
Some of these are new for me. It's been a hot minute.
yeah, I think the merch is like seasonal-ish. So if you want to get some stuff in the shop, they got the season to do it, and then things might change. So you got some time to figure things out and see what you want. But that is there and available as always. Um, but I think with no interviews, we start to go over to the shout out phase between just us two. Any final thoughts, Space, before we wrap things up?
Final thoughts. That stock pipe launcher sure do be looking kind of fire though. But other than that, not particularly. I think that was just a pretty dominant showing from 20ZC overall.
Yep, I would definitely agree, and I'm very excited. Once again, to reiterate before we close up things, tomorrow is Mal versus Freud, and then the day after is Catgirl Cafe versus Dynasty. Definitely don't want to miss them because they are teams that, at least, and even though things aren't seeded yet, right? At least in my opinion, they're like, I think both those both those matchups are pretty much like teams that are adjacent to each other in skill level right now,
Sure.
as they would stand. So it's going to be pretty neat to see how they do, and important to see what the results are going to be. But for tonight, we don't got anything else for you. So thanks for hanging out with us and watching the game. That'll be it from us. I've been Jarrett, casting with Space Ghost with Dolphin on production. Thank you and good night.
Good night.